And here, when we talk about the rise of the working class drama, there the first name that comes to our mind is that of John Osborne. And you won't miss his play, the first prominent play, Look Back in Anger. And one will never forget the hero of Look Back in Anger, Jimmy Porter. Actually, Jimmy Porter is the mouthpiece of the author. Actually, John Osborne is from the working class. And so he can very realistically present the frustration of the working classes through this drama. And see, actually, this Jimmy Porter came to be known as the angry young man, and the author John Osborne also was called the angry young man. Understood? And so the frustration and disillusion of the post-war working class youth, it is presented in Osborne's Look Back in Anger. Then you have Arnold Wesker's Chicken Soup and Barley. Then John Arden's Live Like Pig, which portrays the frustrations of the marginalized sections of the society, especially the poor and the unemployed. And see, when we talk about 1950s, I told you the first name that comes to our mind is that of John Osborne. And again, his play Look Back in Anger. And again, we have another writers in the same vein. Who are they? They are also important writers. Arnold Wesker. His play Chicken Soup and Barley again is written in the same vein. A very important one. Then John Arden's Live Like Pigs. And Delaney's A Taste of Honey. See, John Arden's Live Like Pigs. Then Delaney's A Taste of Honey. It portrays the frustrations of the marginalized sections of the society, especially the poor and the unemployed. See, like John Osborne, these writers, Arnold Wesker, John Arden, Delaney, they also presents the poor, unemployed people, the marginalized sections of the society. And then coming to the existential worldview. See, when you talk about existentialism, definitely we will come across names like Sartre and Camus. Albert Camus, his Myth of Sisyphus. All these writings contributed to existentialism. And see, the existential worldview that gathered momentum in Europe through the writings of Nietzsche, Sartre and Camus revolutionized the concept of modern drama and theatre. And see, when we talk about the history of English drama, we have reached the last part, and that is the existential dramas. See, existential worldview, the dramas that presents an existential worldview. See, that is what I meant by existentialist dramas, meaning dramas which exhibited an existential worldview. See, this how the existential worldview was created. And it was through the writings of Nietzsche, Sartre and Camus. And they revolutionized the concept of modern drama and theatre. You know, what is the basis of existentialism? Existence precedes essence. That is existentialism. That is There is no essence in life, but man merely exists because he is born into this world. And so there is no other way. Nobody is there to view his sufferings. Even God is indifferent to the sufferings of human beings. But because he is born in this earth, he is destined to live. That is, existence precedes essence. And again, here I told you the myth of Sisyphus, written by Camus, presents this philosophy of life in detail. And so absurd drama comes under this category. Existential anguish you will see in absurd drama. I have hinted about absurd theatre in the beginning, isn't it? Here, Samuel Beckett, his Waiting for Godot will be a good example. And see, when we talk about the history of drama, you have to finally consider absurd drama also. Absurd drama perceives life as a constant struggle without hope, and the absurd man is fully aware of the absurdity of his position. And so we conclude with the absurd drama. See, absurd drama. See, when you talk about absurd drama, the first name that comes to our mind is that of Samuel Beckett. His masterpiece play, Waiting for Godot, where two tramps, they are aimlessly waiting for Godot. They haven't seen Godot, they don't know who is Godot, but they have nothing else to do. They exist. They are destined to continue to live. And so they have nothing else to do other than waiting and waiting. They are waiting for Godot. They don't know who is Godot and when Godot will come or whether he will come at all. And so absurd drama, it moves perceiving the fact that life is a constant struggle without hope. Understood? Here, the main point with absurd drama is hopelessness. There is no hope. And the absurd man is fully aware of the absurdity of his position. And the absurd man knows very well that he is not moving in tune with the world. He is aware of the meaninglessness of his life, absurdity of his position. And then here we wind up for the time being, and then we will be discussing other factors. See, I told you that I have divided the introduction into 4 sessions, and we were doing the first part, and we have seen the origin of the word drama. Then we have seen the history, a short history of English drama. And now we will discuss another point, like drama as a performing art.